Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Don from 1A Auto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And the next time you need a part for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a front sway bar link on a 2006 Chevy Impala. It's the same for model years 2000 through 2012, and the procedure is exactly the same on the left-right side and on the right side. To perform this repair, you'll need a 13, 14, and 19 millimeter sockets and socket wrench, 13 and 14 millimeter wrenches, some penetrating oil, a hammer, flat blade screwdriver, and a jack and jack stands. Start by loosening the 5 plastic lug nut covers that hold the wheel cover to the wheel. And for taking off the wheel, you'll be using that same 19 millimeter socket, but if you don't have the benefit of a lift or air tools, you start with it on the ground, loosen up your 5 lug nuts just slightly, get it safely on some jack stands, and then proceed to remove the 5 lug nuts with your socket wrench and break the bar, and then take off your tire. I'm going to turn the steering knuckle there a little bit so you can get a good look at the sway bar link, which is between the control arm and the sway bar. I'm using a 13 millimeter socket wrench on the bottom, and then I'm counter holding it with a 13 millimeter wrench up top, and I'm going to go ahead and fast forward as I loosen those up. The bolt that goes through the center there is quite corroded and sticking to the rubber bushings, so I'm going to use some penetrating oil. And I'm going to try and separate the bushings and those washers, as well as the bolt that goes through the control arm, all the bushings, and the sway bar. I'm using a flat, long screwdriver to try and get some room and start to pull that away. And once I do, I can just use a hammer on the top and tap it out. And as you pull everything out, you'll just want to remember the position of everything, or how the bushings and the washers go in. Here you'll see the old part, rusted and corroded, and the new part from 1A Auto, and that there is how it will go back into the car. So I'm going to start with a rubber bushing against the control arm, and then a washer. And on top of the washer, I'm going to place the metal sleeve. I'm going to use the pry bar to lift up so that I can get then another rubber bushing, place it on top of the sleeve with a washer underneath it. And as I lift it up, then I can let it down and it'll fall right into place. And I've got the bolt going from the bottom with a rubber bushing. It's got the bolt, then a washer, and then the rubber bushing that's going to be sitting next to or against the control arm, you can see there. And you might have to twist or pull some of the stuff to get it to line up so it goes through. Again, here I'm using a hammer. I'm going to use the pry bar again to pry up on that sway bar to give me a little bit more room. And then once I get that pushed through, I'm going to put another rubber bushing and a washer, and then the nut. So then to summarize, from the bottom up, you've got the bolt, washer, rubber bushing, control arm, rubber bushing, washer, sleeve, washer, rubber bushing, then the top of the sway bar, then a rubber bushing, a washer, and then the nut. And I'll go ahead and fast forward as I use a 14 and a 14 millimeter socket and socket wrench to tighten up the sway bar link. I'm reinstalling the wheel, and I'm going to tighten by hand the 5 lug nuts, and then once I do that, I'm going to tighten them back up with the impact wrench. And then as I get the car down, I'm going to use the 19 millimeter socket with a torque wrench and torque all 5 lug nuts in a star pattern to 100 foot-pounds. And then go ahead and reinstall your hubcap, lining up the notch in the hubcap with the valve stem, and then go ahead and tighten up those plastic lug nut covers.
We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.